Call the Clewiston City Commission meeting to order. It's Monday, April 15th, 5 p.m. If you would stand and join me in a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Father, we honor you today. We come before you, Lord, seeking your wisdom, your advice, Lord, your leading and guiding in this meeting. We thank you for the city of Clewiston and all those that work and serve here. We just speak your blessings over the city and each person and their family. We give you the honor and glory for every decision made today, and we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, any changes to the agenda?
Mayor, we do. Resolution or agenda item number 4, resolution number 2024-019, we'll be removing that. That's number 4.
Number 4, okay.
And we're good to go.
All right, at this time, we'll have public comments. If anyone would like to speak on any item, if it's an agenda item, you're more than welcome to wait until that item number to come and speak. Is there any public comments today? Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda.
Move that we approve.
Motion by Gardner to approve,
Second.
second by Highslope. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we get to have some fun. We are going to recognize our employees of the year. And I think it might be best if we all go down front because I know we're going to take some photos and we'll hand out the plaques one at a time.
If Sarah, come forward. You're the utilities. Employee of the year, Sarah Cruz. Please come forward. Public Works, we have Axel Navarro, Employee of the Year. Yes, yeah, just try to get them all up here. And we have Officer James, Police Department. You know, I was going to say something about each and every one of them, but they're all the same. Everybody that nominated them said they're great. They work with every department. They're outstanding employees. They go above and beyond, and they do. And we have Miss Lori Lindsay, who Lori controls City Hall, by the way. Can you fit? Because we got one more. Yep. We have the Director of the Year, Mr. Tom Lewis.
Okay. Axel, thank you, sir, for your hard work.
No.
Tom Lewis, he's our Director of the Year. So,
And who is he?
awesome job. All right, we're going to scooch in or.
Yeah, we have a few more on this side of that way, so we need at least one more person.
I'm sure.
I'm sorry I did this, guys.
Okay.
Where are we looking at?
All right, we're
All
looking
over.
at Travis first.
Too late, we're done.
Yeah.
All right, no. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
It says congratulations.
All right, we look at the chief's wife. Wave your hand, chief's wife. Okay, there she is.
One second, get the camera in the.
Okay, now in the back. Everybody good? Congratulations. Good job, man.
Where was Attorney of the Year?
Thank you, Mom.
Decision of 1.
And once again, from the commission, thank you guys. Families, you're welcome to go if you would like. You don't have to stay for the whole meeting. It will be extra bonus points next year, though. No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Okay. Public hearings. We have a couple of public hearings. We have ordinance 2024-04. This ordinance abandons and vacates the alley on the block 424 located on what we call the Brown Sullivan project, which is the one on WCO, and there's an alley that runs down through, and as you guys know, he's planned a project there. This ordinance abandons the alley, and I will read it by title. Ordinance 2024-04, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, abandoning and vacating the alley located in Block 424 of the General Plan of Clewiston, Florida, as revised, located and lying between lots 1 through 44. I'll declare the public hearing open. If there's any comments from anyone in the audience, you're more than welcome to come up and speak on this matter. Seeing none, any comments by the commission? Questions?
I don't necessarily have a problem with this, but I think we do need to look very carefully at doing all of these abandonments. I was at the market this past weekend and looking back, toward the museum, and it's almost like there was never even an alley there, but there's just this dead space that is useless. You can't park in it, you can't do anything with it. So I would just ask that we use extra caution in looking at all of this moving forward. I don't see a problem with this one specifically, but there is a problem down there.
Right. Yeah, I think through the TC review committee and utilities and fire, I think everyone has looked at this one and been approved, and nothing will be covered up by a building or anything like that.
No, but
But
We just need to be careful.
But you bringing up that issue there, I don't believe there was any abandonment. The alley goes from Bond Street into, in between the businesses behind Badcock's, and then all the way back to Bond Street. So there was never an abandonment of that alley at all.
so maybe that's not the problem then. Maybe it's that parking lot.
Could be. Yeah, and that would have been handled at the TRC committee. Yeah. But there was no abandonment. Is that
Dr.
correct?
Carroll, come up.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The alley
There was no
terminates.
abandonment there.
Okay.
Leonard Carroll. That alley doesn't go straight through. It used to. Even since I've been here in 2007, the alley went straight across to Broad Street.
Well, that was because the property owner allowed it, but that was never an alley from what I'm understanding.
How many alleys in town do we have that go at a right angle and then another right angle?
Just two.
There are several, Mr. Carroll.
And actually, that alley, if you count it, it ends in property. I don't know. That's not an alley.
The alley,
It actually makes a circle
a
around.
it's a U.
Circle around where?
It actually goes around what would be considered Badcock's and the Goodyear building. So it goes
Wow.
western, it goes westerly.
I've never seen
stops where
anybody
the alley
do that.
Intersects the southerly extension, and we'll go all the way back to what we call a telephone.
It's like a U. It's like a U. It's a
Yeah.
U alley.
It's not a-
But then somebody needs to tell Badcock to stay out of the alley. They park in there all the time and it's completely closed.
Point.
And also, we took 4 parking spots off Broad there,
Central Avenue.
Central, to get into a private parking lot.
Right.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, that was through a TRC.
Okay, any further questions or discussion on ordinance 2024-04? I'll declare the public hearing closed and entertain a motion.
Move that we approve. Oh,
Motion by Edmonds,
second.
second by Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next ordinance is 2024-05. It also abandons and vacates a portion of Haiti Avenue, which was never paved or even cleared. And it's over in Block 414 and 413 of the General Plan of Clewiston. And I will read that by title. Ordinance 2024-05, an ordinance of the City of Clewiston, of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, abandoning and vacating its interest in that portion of Haiti Avenue located between Block 414 and 413 of the General Plan of Clewiston, Florida, as revised, subject to utility and access easements to be maintained along the entire length of the existing easement, providing for recording, providing for an effective date, and for other purposes. We'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this matter? Anyone from the commission have comments or questions?
This is the concrete.
Bid and Core,
Yeah.
A&J.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But even in years past, it's never been used as a roadway. It's never, the city's never developed that
Yeah,
property.
It's actually better, Barbara.
Yeah.
You can go, they made it where we got access.
Sure I was in the right place.
Actually, years ago, Wilson Lumberyard had a building across.
That's true.
Some of the old timers remember that.
Only the dilapidated building.
Yeah. Which has since been removed. But I think this is a good use of vacating property in this case for sure. Any further comments? We'll declare the public hearing closed and entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Gardner, second by Highslope. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have a few resolutions. Number 4 has been
That's been removed, yes.
removed from the agenda. Resolution, item number 5 is Resolution 2024-024. This is a resolution that approves change order. I'll read it by title. Resolution number 2024-024, a resolution of the Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, approving the change order number 1 to the Ridgedale and Son Culvert Repair Contract and authorizing the mayor to sign. Any questions or comments about this change order?
This is this is the entire cost of the project, including this change order, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2024-024.
Second.
Motion by Gardner, second by Highslope. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 on the agenda is Resolution 2024-025, which is a change order number 1 to Tetra Tech. I'll read it by title. Resolution 2024-025, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, approving the change order number 1 to Tetra Tech work order number 2 agreement for the Ventura Avenue resurfacing design. This resolution is for the new project that we've looked at several times, and they are in the process of changing or redrawing what
Redesigning.
we've discussed and
Yes.
designed.
David's here tonight from Johnson Engineering, so he can update us.
Yeah, if you give
Thank
us
you,
an
Dave.
update, Dave.
Dave Trudeau with Johnson Engineering. As we've talked about in the past, going from a mill and resurface to the roundabout at the middle there caused some more survey needs, some more drainage design needs, and therefore a change order to Tetra Tech's contract. So that's what you're approving tonight, is that additional work for them to proceed and get to the early on stage plans and then talk to the business owners to see how that concept works.
But what do you anticipate us being able to?
I would guess within about 2 months, we'll have plans laid in there. I'll report back to Danny and get a true timeline from them, but it's by the time survey gets out there and then they get it, pen to paper, so.
Okay, so what I'm understanding that there's still work to do, especially around the roundabout area. You're going to be talking to the businesses, so this is not the final, correct?
So the
The concept conceptual design that we have, option B, that we originally approved?
So we Johnson came up with a concept, and then once it was approved with the roundabout, then it went to Tetra Tech to do the design. Tetra Tech is working through that design now, with this change order, to get it to actual transportation level plans, to make sure the roundabout meets all the criteria, to make sure all the driveway access points are designed properly. Once we get to that stage, and then we'll meet with the business owners to say, yep, we like it, or nope, can you shift it over a little bit here and there and kind of tweak the design.
So we're not going to talk to the business owners first with this conceptual design to see how it impacts them?
Correct. I think the plan moving forward was to get Tetra Tech's, their transportation engineers, just to make sure that because they're signing off on the design of the roadway. Our conceptual was, we had our folks look at it, but we weren't responsible in signing and sealing those roadway plans. So we want them to get in the weeds of it.
With the ability to tweak it if needed, correct?
With the ability to tweak it, yes. Yeah, if the church says, hey, we want this spot or that spot, they can look and sign off on it with their design.
More questions?
Not that they have to sign off on it, but the ability to have input.
Correct. Yep. Correct, yes.
Okay, no further questions? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Highslope,
Second.
second by Thompson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to oppose it. I just think we're putting the cart before the horse without first going and looking at the impact to our businesses and churches.
Okay, motion carries 4-1. Okay, we'll move on to item 7, resolution 2024-026. This is a resolution that approves change order number 2 to the C-21 canal construction. And I'll read that by title. Resolution number 2024-026, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, approving the change order number 2 to the Bridge over C-21 Canal Construction Engineering Inspection Services Agreement with Santec Consulting Services and authorizing the mayor to sign. Can you fill us in on, Dave, on that one?
Sure. So this was supposed to be in conjunction with item number 4 that was pulled. We're waiting on a final cost estimate from ZEP Construction to finalize that resolution. They were still working out their numbers. They didn't quite get back to us fast enough, but the intent is to come back to the commissioner with the final change order for ZEP. That will coincide with the Stantec additional inspection fees. The cost of this is about $8,000 a week, which is in line with what they were doing. Is actually a little bit less. They've reduced some staff from their previous work on the bridge itself. But the goal is to finalize it with ZEP, potentially have a special meeting or something to get that approved so they can coincide time-wise and to keep them moving.
All grant funded?
Excuse me?
All funded?
Yes.
This is all funded,
Yep,
yes.
all of these funds are within the existing project. There's going to be a little bit pulled from the boating,
Yeah, the 43,000.
recreation. Yep. But as the previous meeting, we talked about doing the parking lot and the Herbert Hoover Dike access road at the same time. Looking at the dollar figures of what we had left in the contract, getting the final quote from ZEP, it looks like we had too much of scope to hand on the existing budget. We were going to pull quite a bit of money from the CRA. That's gone away now. We've reduced the scope just to do the parking lot with the intent of the SCOP funds. Our number one project for the SCOP is the Herbert Hoover Dike Road. We will do those improvements with the hopes of doing that project under the SCOP grant in the future. So it will be covered, just maybe not quite as fast as we'd hoped.
So under item 4, there was a new drawing that showed that we had adjusted the parking so that folks wouldn't have to go all the way around. Is that correct?
So it was still, you come in the east side and come down one of the two, kind of hard to describe, one of the 4 lanes you can come south.
Right.
So come in the east side and come south, 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 south.
The very last one, you can go north.
That has not been flipped yet.
Okay.
We can work through that if we need to flip
Well,
it.
that was on this map. It shows the parking spots have been changed,
And I
one
don't have
headed
that.
north.
It opened up, Molly, the old existing drive that's becoming parking. So you'll come in.
Right, you're right. I'm talking about on the very west end by the bridge. Remember?
Okay, yeah, you'll come in,
Right, you
by
can
the
come in and
bathroom.
park, and, right,
and then you'll loop at the end, the north end, and then you can go out
yeah, well,
next to the bridge.
this rendering shows that you can go in from the north side here. This is what I'm talking about, which is my concern last time. See right here? So I think that they addressed that concern that you can come in this way.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Any further questions? All right, we'll entertain a motion for resolution 2024-26.
Some of
Motion by Thompson,
Second.
second by, is that Molly
Yes, sir.
Gardner? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 8 on the agenda is appointment and reappointment of the CRA Advisory Board. That's a 7-member board. And as of right now, we have 3 people, but 2 of those 3 people are up for reappointment. And then we have 4 names to fill the 4 vacancies. So we'll do the reappointments first, both.
I think if we do the reappointments, then there's only actually 4 total seats. And we have the 2 reappointments, and then we have 4 other people. So so there's 6 people for 4 seats. Is that not
No, there's 7 seats.
right? There's 3 people on the board right now, so there's only 4 seats available. There's
But
3.
if we reappoint the 2, there will be 4 seats available.
You're reappointing
No,
Scott.
there's 3 serving members on the CRA, right? So 7 members. So there's only 4 seats available.
Right.
So you're saying that to reappoint the 2, and then there's only 2 seats available.
No, we're reappointing 2 of the 3. 2 we're reappointing are already on there.
Okay.
finale.
There's 4 empty seats,
Right.
right? Whether we reappoint or not, there's 4 vacant seats. That's
If
what
we don't reappoint, there will be 6 vacancies.
No, it's a 7-member board, and we have 3 members that aren't on this list that are serving.
No, they are on the list. Scott,
Carl Larson, Electa Waddell, and Luann Walker are already on this board. So that's 3 of the 7. So we're actually only 4. It's just 4 seats on the board that are available. 2 of the 4 are asking for reappointment, and then there would only be 2 more unless we went with 4 different names, or 3 different names and 1 reappointment. It's just a 7-member board.
Who are the
right,
current?
I understood it
Carl,
the other
Electa,
way,
who?
though.
Carl, Elect, and Luann. And I think all of them are definitely, I think all of them are interested in serving the community. Ian already serves on one of the existing boards, the rec board. I know I've spoken to Lisa, to Dr. Carroll, and I saw Eddie at the market. I haven't spoken to Scott and Luis in a while, but I know that all of these folks are certainly would serve well.
Okay,
I mean,
so,
it could be 9 members. I don't know what the charter says as far as how many on this board. And we could approve them, and if any other resignation, then we have everybody on the board.
well, no, we can, I took it as those were 2 of the 3 that were on the board.
No, I checked
Oh.
with Kathy because I was confused. I
Okay.
wanted to make sure.
Right.
And there's 7 members, and there's 3 seats that I think their terms expire in 2025, I think, or maybe later on this year.
And who are those 3
Uh,
that are on the board that are
See,
not?
Luann Walker and Carl Larson's both of their terms expire in December. And Electa's term expires in June of 2025.
Okay.
I just called Kathy before the meeting because I wanted to make sure I was clear.
And Scott
Okay,
and
so
Lewis
then we
are-
have,
No.
so we have 6 people for 4 seats. Okay. Okay, we can rank them, we can all pick one. The 4 of you can pick one and I won't, or whatever, however you want to do it. Or we can think about it. The 2 that their term is expiring have agreed to serve, and when we have 4 more that have turned in applications. What's the commission's pleasure?
And I think, Travis, I know that we've talked about this, but isn't the board going to be meeting soon, or you need to set a meeting and you're waiting for a quorum?
We do. Commission serves as a CRA board.
Right.
During the crab and the crack, the crab being the advisory board. Choose your, at least your advisory board, open the meeting as a CRA. We're supposed to do it annually, and we haven't been doing that. To open up CRA, actual board members, gavel down, gavel in as the CRA, have your meeting. But my understanding of the first bill, the city commission, as you're acting now, could set the advisory board. To bless it as these actual CRAs.
You can make the appointments. That's contemplated, yeah.
And I think in the past, we did have a check sheet in each commission. Check boxes, you just rank, so you didn't have to have the open discussion in public of this one or that one, and then we kind of tallied them up. So this person got more votes than the other one. If we're lucky enough to have that many people want to serve.
I'm glad we have it.
your board.
Me
It's a
too.
blessing to have 6 people and
Yeah,
only 4
so
spots.
let me ask you, there's nothing that's going to happen between now and the next meeting, correct?
No.
Okay. And I know we need to make the decision, but I just want to make sure we're all clear on who's serving their terms, and it's been a long time since this board has met.
Right.
And maybe some of those other board members might want to resign. They might not want to continue on. So I just ask that we table this to the next meeting and we reach out to the 3 existing ones to make sure that they're still willing to serve. And then we have 6 people.
I concur.
Yeah,
Make sure
let's-
the 3 want to
Do.
continue.
Yeah.
To do
And
that.
then if they, then give us a list.
Yep.
Ranking list, and we can get it back to you before the next meeting.
Okay.
And we'll just rank 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. I just think, and it's been a while. When's the last meeting? When's the last time these? Yeah. So, I mean, some of these might not even want to serve.
Right.
They might have other plans. So I'd rather do it that way, at least check back with these 3.
Absolutely. We need a motion for anything?
Yeah, to table it
Table
until the next month's meeting.
Okay, I'll table to the next meeting.
Second.
Okay, motion by Gardner, second by Thompson to table item 8 till the next meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 9 is the, set the interim city manager salary. We had a discussion at the last meeting when Danny was appointed interim, since he's taken on the role of the city manager along with other duties, to compensate him for that.
At
The-
least 45 a year.
45? That's a little bump.
Is that $4 to $5?
The clerk went out and got the salary range from other comparable cities. And you have it before you there. Any discussion, any thoughts from anyone?
What is the possibility of using like some sort of stipend format? For however long Danny is doing a job in addition to his current employment. Does it work like that ever?
I've never heard of that before.
No?
I think in the past, when we run into this is whoever was appointed just got their salary adjusted while they were in that position. And then when they went back, it went back to whatever. So it was just
You
a,
put the motion contingent on, another interim, or you can have it a timeline. We can state it wherever we want. A term basis, next 12 months, or until somebody's hired and replace of.
That's usually what the way we've done it, that the salary is adjusted for the term of serving.
Because the budget changes too, that's all internal, but makes it easier, clean cut if it's just interim city manager, this amount for the next so many months or until another's chosen. Who knows what the future holds?
I just want to make sure we're being fair because it's two very big jobs.
Danny is very dedicated, he'll probably do it for free.
He went from.
I bet he won't do it long
to
for
free.
free. We just need, I just want to make sure we're being fair.
yeah, and then recently, there's gonna be maybe a little more pressure, looking for a finance director, and that's gonna be additional hat that Danny's gonna have to.
And I think we truly need to, Danny needs to truly look at some help, not trying to fill all three positions. Already covered two, now this is three.
I've been reaching out, working on it. Finances.
I went back and looked at what the previous city manager was hired at, which I think was 170. That's kind of the number I was thinking, but I'll throw that out to just start the discussion. So
I was thinking the same thing.
What year was
We just
that?
need to start there.
That was almost 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pre-COVID and
It'll be
cost of
5 years in
living.
July, yeah. I'm good with that. I mean, and depending on what the interim, how many months we're looking at in the process. I mean, there might be that we need to have this discussion again next month, but at least to go ahead and get it started to win that last month to go ahead and make up the difference. Because I know from the updates he's been giving us that he's definitely doing the work of a city manager without a doubt.
I mean, I personally would like to see it be a little higher,
throw a number out.
I did the averages of the top three, and the average was 181, 790, 799.33. I mean, I was just looking at trying to get, and then, just to, so I'm fine within those ranges.
I'll make a motion, pay this interim city manager 180 for the next 12 months and to be rediscussed after that. Renegotiated after that,
I'm sorry, you said for how many months?
12 months. I think that's safe. It'll take, even if we started the process now for a city manager, it would take that long.
Second.
We'll just readdress it.
Would you like, would you like to consider including or until a,
That's safe, or until a
Right.
future.
that'd be my recommendation.
Okay. You amended your motion then?
I withdraw my motion and make a new motion for 180 a year for the next 12 months or until we determine another city manager.
I'll amend my motion, yes.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 9A on the agenda. Consideration of authorizing city attorney to retain a labor counsel as needed on behalf of the city. You'll explain what's going on,
This one's for me.
public consumption.
So the city received a representation petition from the Fraternal Order to represent the city's police department. What that entails is it'll go in front of the Public Employees Relations Commission. There's some administrative hearings involved in that. My recommendation to you would be to retain a specialty labor counsel. I can handle things like the administrative hearings, but when it comes time to do actual negotiating,
All that.
yeah, as Commissioner Thompson knows, when it comes time to do a collective bargaining negotiations, things like that, you're really going to want a labor-specific attorney to handle that on your behalf. I took the liberty of reaching out to 3 different firms that I believe could handle the work. I spoke with each of them. I think each of them are qualified and would be able to handle it. That being said, my recommendation would probably be to go with the lowest bid, if you will, which I think was Laura Donley with Glenn Torsivia's office. So that would be my recommendation to you, would be to,
Are they the same ones that handle South Bay?
I don't know for sure.
Has this been filed, or has there been an election held?
It has been filed. There has been no election. You can either contest it, or if you do not contest it, then PERC supervises an election, and then the negotiations move on from that point. So I believe the initial hearing with PERC has been set for next month on May 16th.
I would suggest we have a workshop and have a discussion how that process goes down, and
I would appreciate that.
the do's and don'ts and
Well, and,
what to expect.
right.
Well,
This
look
was-
at your calendars.
Okay. This was received March 5th by the city, is that correct?
You want to describe what PERC is and what they do?
So
Public employees.
yeah, the Public Employees Relations Commission, it's an administrative agency. They are responsible for any labor organizations that want to operate within the state have to register with that agency. If they're seeking to create a new bargaining unit or represent a new group of employees, you have to file through PERC to do that. The agency is also responsible for a number of other, functions involving public employees. Really all I can say about it.
They're like the National Labor Relations Board, but they handle municipalities.
Right.
Dylan, I'm just want to make sure I understand this. The city received this notification letter in March of 2024? March 5th of 2024?
Let's see.
Or is that when it was received someplace else? The state of Florida received it then?
That date may have been the date that the agency received it. I don't have the specific date that it was provided to the city.
All right. And if we
Been
could get a
certified,
timeline?
The city would have been notified immediately.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like a miniature court process. They have their own e-file system. I filed an appearance in this case, and then I got access to all the docs. And I believe the initial documents had been emailed at some point or made.
If you could give us a timeline on this when we do the workshop? Sure. I'd appreciate that. And then second question I have, are these the only 2 attorneys that you contacted?
So there's 3 in there.
3? Okay, Ward.
I reached out to 3. They were referred to me by several attorneys I work with who have had positive experiences with them in the past. Like I said, I spoke to each of the individuals from these firms. They all seemed very knowledgeable on the subject area.
One of them firms represents Beltway or Vecchio, Orbis, whatever.
We've
Tracivia
used,
Donlan.
this isn't anything new to the city. We've had labor unions try to come in, the police, the garbage men, all kinds. But we've used an attorney, and I can't think of his name. Is Sherry still here?
No, she's already gone. I was thinking the same thing. I think they were from Tampa.
Yeah, what was the guy's name? It's on the tip of my tongue. And he's very, you might remember Travis.
I know it.
You remember the time frame? We can,
What, say that again?
Benjamin.
Allie,
Allie and Allie?
Allie and Allie.
Allie and Allie, the name is the same.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware. We could certainly reach out and see if
If
they're
you would,
interested
just because they've got experience with
with the city.
specifically this and with the city of Clewiston, under other labor issues we've had, not just with organized unions and things.
That's an excellent idea.
Some people call them union avoidance firms.
Oh, right.
But this was when, I think when the chief for the attorney, for the police department, it was when Don Gushaw was here, if I'm
Gotcha.
not mistaken. So it would have been Ally and Ally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I am requesting action from the board so we can get a head start on this. If it's the board's pleasure to pursue this recommendation, perhaps you could authorize us to reach out to them and enter into an agreement with them. If they are unwilling for any reason, maybe choose a backup. I would like to get this referred out to Labor Council if we can.
Okay, so your recommendation for a backup would be,
It was Laura Donlin with Tracivia Donlin, Godot, and Rubin PA. They were the lowest bidder of the three I reached out to. It's the last page. That one's just an email.
okay, does someone want to put that in the form of a motion, and we can pick the workshop date after we do that?
I'll make a motion that we authorize the city attorney to retain Ally and Ally to assist with this issue, and if they're unavailable, then, or unwilling, go with Tracivia, Donlin, Godot, and Rubin.
Very good.
Second.
But that's just to retain, that's not to sign a binding contract or anything, right? Yet.
I would like to enter. I mean, the terms are here. I would like I would like to permission to engage the council. I mean, the hearing's coming up. I'd like to get them going on this before next month, if possible.
Would that be on a monthly basis, annual basis?
So it's just as needed,
As needed, okay.
for the sole purpose of this issue, and attorneys bill hourly, so that's how it would be handled at the rates described in the documents provided.
If we have that was a second.
Motion and a second, yeah.
Right. So, but on the discussion for the workshop, would the 29th of April be a good day for a workshop? Do you think that would give you enough time to gather the information? And
I could do April 29th, sure.
is that too, I mean, I don't know.
Better.
What time is that?
Whatever would be whatever, I think for the attorney, whatever works the
Yeah,
best for
let's
him on the
take a look.
29th. I think everybody's here. I think it could either be the midday or late or evening, whatever.
I'm pretty much open that whole day, so it'd be at the pleasure of the commission.
April 29th, everybody good?
Good.
Would 3 o'clock be okay since it's a workshop?
Sure.
Would that work for everybody?
Works for me.
2
April
o'clock,
29th, 3 o'clock.
3.
3 o'clock? Okay, 3 p.m., April 29th. Okay, we have a motion by High Slope, second by Gardner. And the workshop on April 29th at 3 p.m. That's not part of the motion, but as information. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, old business. Anyone have any questions on the old business information sheet? Activity reports from each department? Anything about that? Comments from the city manager?
I'm good at this time. I'm glad I survived. One meeting down.
All right. City attorney, anything else?
I have no comments.
All right, city commission. We'll start at the other end. Commissioner Gardner?
Okay. I know that you mentioned earlier about the resignation of our finance director for other work with for another job opportunity, And it would be remiss not to just thank Sherry publicly. I know we'll probably do something at a later meeting, but to thank her for her years of dedicated service to the city, and that we appreciate all her efforts through the years, and that we wish her the best as she starts a new season of life. So, and then the FMPA sent out a really nice, I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but this is amazing what the FMPA and the benefit it's been to our community over the years. Very nice. And that's all I have today.
Commissioner Heisler?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Edmonds? Thompson?
Glad all the employees showed up to be recognized. Glad to have the opportunity to be here to recognize great employees, and
Likewise, it's always a nice part of the year when we get to recognize our employees that win, especially when they win awards and they're nominated by their coworkers. So it's something that they see, the people they see day in and day out are recognizing what they do. So that's always a good pat on the back for them. That's it. Very proud of them and proud of our city. And with that, a motion to adjourn. We're adjourned.